You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rumble Spoon Productions, The Real Short Box. We are on the road at the We Can Be Heroes convention here in Chatsworth, California. This beautiful, sunny, hot day.
Oh, it's warm. 86 degrees.
86 degrees.
I thought it was like 100. It felt like...
Oh, it did.
It was 99 yesterday, buddy. Today is like a
you know
full
these
breeze.
these guys made me do like multiple runs, getting alcohol, getting food.
I
I'm walking
know
in the
anything
sun. I mean, I was burning up, but the good news is I probably lost 5 pounds today, so and I need to lose the weight.
It's good. It's good. Good exercise to be out and about walking. It was a beautiful day. I mean, I'm getting to sit here behind a table, but you know, I love it. I love this. This shop is awesome.
We know this is Kevin. I'm here with Donald, and we're here interviewing a very special guest from one of my favorite, if not favorite, comic book publishing company, and Donald's second favorite published comic book company, and that is from Marvel Comics, Mr. Ben.
B. Earl, Ben,
Earl.
you got me. Yeah, B. Earl is the nom de plume.
He has many
call me
books,
Ben.
many
Fancy.
books here.
I know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of Werewolf by Night here for sale.
do.
And this one you talked about earlier off camera, so to speak, or off mic.
Off mic, yeah.
About this special issue, 1 out of
Yeah.
100, this special Werewolf by Night,
It's
issue
the
1,
mic
variant
thing.
edition, 1 out of 100, you said?
Yeah.
And did I hear 1,000 smackaroos?
Plus, I mean,
Plus.
you know, it's crazy because like since Moon Knight came out, and then you know, obviously Werewolf by Night first premiered Moon Knight in number 32, and then we've got the Werewolf by Night series, which is coming out in September, and no one really knows. We even are kept in the dark. We've talked to our editors, we've talked to CB, and we're like,
They'll tell you much.
yeah, they don't tell you, because I think even on the Marvel side, like, I'm guessing they're doing a Midnight Suns. Like, that's kind of what I'm guessing, because it's a 1-hour special of Werewolf by Night. It's not called Werewolf by Night. They're saying, but it's Werewolf
By Night.
So it's got to be Midnight Suns. Come on. Like, they're bringing in,
Make a choice.
You know, so anyway, so we're assuming by putting the pieces together that it's our character that we created, Jake Gomez. Perhaps, we'll see, but because the director is a first-time director, but he's a composer, and we made music a major component to our Werewolf by Night series. And he's also half Mexican, half Hopi.
Ah.
And the fact that the actor that was cast is definitely not a, blonde hair, blue-eyed Jack Russell.
Jack Russell, Aryan guy, yeah.
Jack Russell, the most like dog type werewolfy name
Right,
you could
Jack
get.
Russell, of course. Come on,
So walk us through kind of the creation of this character, of this guy, because we're all so used to Jack Russell in that particular Werewolf by Night. As far as I know, this is the first different type of Werewolf by Night we've had since then, and that was the 70s.
Yeah. So, it's kind of an interesting story of how it came about, but kind of cutting to the chase of it. Taboo and I, we started our duo doing in the Marvel 1000, and we did Red Wolf. So we were kind of focusing on this whole Red Wolf angle, right? So we did a 1-page of Red Wolf. And worked with Jeffrey Veregi, who we've worked with ever since on a lot of our books. And Jeffrey is also a native creative. I like that.
I like that.
He's
Creative.
a native creative. And he, did some of our variant covers, did some of our interior art. Werewolf by Night issue 3. Jeffrey does an incredible 2-page spread. But we came in to create a brand new Werewolf by Night that is native and also Mexican. So we looked at this character and saying, okay, we're going to build an indigenous storytelling with our Werewolf by Night. And when I, kind of came up with his origins and, pitched it to Tab and kind of how we built it, it's basically from Mexico. And how his kind of curse came about, and that was, it was a really cool curse, and you get the whole story of the curse in issue number 3.
Is it similar to what you would get with like the Chupacabra, that kind of mythology?
So what it came about was these characters, like basically it was a curse with a shaman that ultimately gave him the ability to shift into a werewolf. And it was only supposed to be for one night, but if he acted in rage during that one night, he would be forever cursed, and so would his lineage.
Oh, wow.
And the only way for that curse to be broken was that from the age of 13, when they got the werewolf curse, the males got the werewolf curse, until the age of, I think I've made it like 20, like they had to get out of their teens. I forget now. I forget. I'm the great on this. I have to go back to my notes.
Yeah, what's your notes?
I have to go back to my
well,
notes.
obviously you have this all plotted out over like whatever, a 20 issue, 30 issue
Well, I made
story
this,
arc.
yeah, I mean, I really, when we came in to do this, like, I had this vision of, like, making this an ongoing series that went to Mexico, because that's where Tab's roots are, and that was what we were looking at, and we had this whole idea of, like, making it kind of like his father, and, like, his father who's a werewolf, so you see that in issue 2, and there's this big 2-page spread with his father and him. Anyway, like, that's the origin story, and basically,
Hereditary.
they have not been able to break the curse.
It's like it's a hereditary curse.
Yeah, it's a hereditary curse, exactly. So it's not this like you get bitten and if he bites someone, he's not going to turn them into a werewolf. Like it's in the blood. So
Okay.
Wow. Now, are they vulnerable to the classical silver bullets, take you out type of thing?
yeah, so when we were kind of playing with the ideas, we wanted to kind of lean into the typical sort of tropes that existed as to the whys of like how you can kill the werewolf, but it's also like he's really his powers, are affected. Like he basically turns into a werewolf by night. It's not so much the whole
Not by day, but
right
by night.
So the idea being that like it wasn't that the full moon came and all of a sudden he turned into a werewolf. He had the ability to shift himself into a werewolf only at night, right? So like it was this kind of. And, again, the Hulk thing, right? So that's why issue number 1, the main cover, it's like a Hulk homage because his power is given to him through this hereditary curse, and he can only adjust himself through emotion, and that he was using music to basically meditate his emotion or mediate his emotion. So his best friend has these playlists that she would like utilize to kind of Hulk him up, And I'll be honest, when we came up with this pitch and like started playing with it, and the way we got Scott Eaton, our artist, on board, it was really like we wanted to make like WWE wrestling with like this whole backstory of monsters, and I was writing for my son. My son is here. Like it was for a kid's book in a way. Like it was just big smashing fights.
Not too gory.
No, I mean there was a few moments in the fourth one that was a little gory. But
So PG-13.
so anyway, that's my spiel.
So let me ask you, where are you from originally, Ben?
New Jersey,
You're kidding.
I'm
I'm
not
from New
kidding.
York. Well, what part of New Jersey are you from?
outside Philly. So like,
Oh, okay, like Cherry Hill.
Cherry Hill, Maple
right.
Shade.
I don't know where any of that's at.
Of course not. You know nothing about the Garden State.
We're South Jersey. Kids.
South Jersey.
Well, actually, I take that back. I do know a few things about the Garden State. Actually, I know there was a medieval times there.
Okay.
And I went to that in 2003, and it was great.
But did you know about Six Flags Great Adventure?
Aha. That's a good time.
No, I've never been there.
Or let's go back since we're about the same age. You remember the dangerous but also fun? I think it maybe
Clementon?
No. Action Park.
Oh, Action Park was there too, but Clementon was the other one, the oldest wooden roller coaster in all of the country.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was scary.
That's right.
Did they do? They did a thing like a documentary on Action Park, right? On
Yeah.
HBO.
Yeah.
Like recently.
I don't think
There's
I
like a
went.
bunch of documentaries in Action Park.
I don't
That's
think
a bunch.
yeah, my parents I don't think ever took me. We went to Clementon though. That was our spot. Anyway. But yeah, Jersey.
We had Geauga Lake and Cedar Point.
So
That
where
was
you
like our
from?
big ones. Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
not terribly far, but far enough.
Yeah.
Far enough.
Far enough. But
How long you been riding for?
well, yeah, what happened? Okay. Hey, baby. This guy is my girlfriend.
All right, all right.
I started.
See, Greg has some support. It's beautiful.
I'm doing an interview. So I started, I've been writing ever since, when I was 11, I wanted to make Marvel comics. So I started writing when I was a kid, started coming up with Dungeons & Dragons stories.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was my background, man. It was like making comics, making Dungeons & Dragons, writing.
Do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh,
now?
I do.
He does. This guy does.
I do.
Nice.
I ran a campaign for almost 2 years during the whole pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was a whole thing that it was a homebrew. And I also wrote it as a book.
Those are the best kind.
So it was
really
so
are.
much fun, right? So I would give my pages to my players. Every Monday I would write my homebrew, and I would give it to them by the end of the week. So I have a 300-page book of our adventure. So I can always pick it up whenever.
Oh, nice.
So you heard of that? There was like this. It's an Amazon series. I can't remember the name of it now. Jeez.
Box Mesh.
Thank you.
So
yes.
Titmouse did it. It's based on Critical Role. One of
That's
my
right,
buddies,
yeah.
Jason Charles Miller, he does all the music for them, he does the music for Critical Role. Yeah, like I love those guys. I think they're great. Titmouse was the animation studio. Good friends of mine.
Brilliant idea, really. You take a campaign, which is the basic story, the premise of the entire thing, and then you use that as the outline to create this whole animated world. And I was like, oh man, why didn't anybody ever think of this? And if they did, why didn't this ever take off? Like, it's crazy.
Well, I think a big part of it was the fact that like when they did Critical Role, they were really smart about how they kind of built it around their Twitch, and they had a lot of real actors, and they were already improv actors, and it was that kind of thing of like, you get a bunch of professionals together to do it, because a lot of times when you do like D&D, like especially back in the day, most of the time it was a bunch of people that was like all inside jokes or inside
true.
stuff.
That's very
so
true.
It's very hard to like translate that to a mass audience or a population, So I think what they did was really smart. Was they knew that they were kind of creating it with a pop culture feel to it. So I think it works really well. But yeah, I mean, look, coming back to like writing, I mean, when it came to the actual professional writing, the first like comic book job as a professional that I got was actually with Will.i.am with the Masters of the Sun book.
Oh yes,
So
you know
I
what's
wrote
funny? I think it was you.
I bought that book.
Yeah, I got it as a
Yeah.
Christmas gift.
Nice. So that was the book that I did. Will brought me in. I wrote it. I brought the team together with Damien and worked with Will on that. That came out as a Black Eyed Peas project.
Yes.
And then that was how Taboo and I met. So that was kind of the beginning of our journey as creatives and writers. And then Tab was like, man, I love Red Wolf. And he was like he did this thing, I think it was like Joe Quesada was doing those, they were like the short videos on Marvel, and Tab was on one of them with Joe, and they did an interview. So when he was in New York, he was talking to Joe, and Joe was like, "Oh, let's go over to the Bond. Let's go over meet with CB and Tom Brevoort," and that was how we ended up doing the Marvel 1000.
Ah, okay.
So, son is over here. Anyway, so yeah.
And how did you stumble upon the Werewolf by Night project? Like, how did that get
Well,
going?
we got pitched it. We got a call, Jake Thomas. So we did the one page in Marvel 1000. We brought in Jeffrey Fereggi to do that with us, and it was Red Wolf. And we got a call from Jake Thomas, who was the editor on Red Wolf. Calls us up and is like, "Hey guys, do you want to do Werewolf by Night? But we're going to do Werewolf by Night in a very different way. It's going to be a brand new Werewolf by Night. You guys get to create him. It's going to be native."
That's amazing.
Dude, right? Like,
To be able to somebody reach out to you and be like, you get to create your own.
And
thing.
guess what?
Yeah.
If they pull this for a Disney Plus show,
they already do.
I mean, your character. I mean, your version.
Yeah,
Your version.
That's what we're assuming.
That's
Like,
what
that's what I
he's
was
talking
saying.
about.
Oh,
Like this
wow.
Halloween.
September,
Oh
in
my
October.
God! Oh, this is
So
awesome.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
we don't
I
know
missed
if
that. I'm
it's,
sorry, I missed
yeah,
that.
it's all good. It was a little
Congratulations,
convoluted.
man.
Well, so we don't know yet. Hold on, Liam. We don't know if it's guaranteed yet. But what I was saying was the musician, the composer of Spider-Man and Batman is the director of the Werewolf by Night project, but it's not being called Werewolf by Night. What we're assuming is Midnight Suns because it's a 1-hour special. And the main character is Gail, the guy from Motorcycle Diaries. And
Oh yes.
blanking
Yeah,
his name.
Gael Garcia Bernal.
Gael Garcia Bernal.
That guy.
Gael.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah. So he's going to play Werewolf by Night.
That makes sense.
Which-
For your version of it, that makes perfect sense.
So he's going to be, we're assuming they've taken our character, made him older, and now this is Gael's.
And you'll get credit, right? Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
I have
It's
no
beautiful.
idea. You know what?
It's beautiful.
I'm just grateful to be a part of the Marvel family.
This is like it's like a childhood dream come true for
Right.
real. You're
So-
part of the MCU, or as I was saying on some of our previous episodes, soon to be called, I would say, the MCM, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse.
Yeah. Well, and so our next, what we're doing right now is I'm writing Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So that is my story of Spider-Man here in LA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Tab and I are writing, and again, there's an indigenous bent, Native American bent. I can't speak more
Is
to
this
that.
Peter or is this Miles?
It's Peter.
Okay.
So, and I can't say more, but stay tuned because there's going to be some firsts, and if they follow the outline that I put together for my 5-issue arc, you're going to see a very brand new first, and that's all I can say.
When's it coming out? Next year? Or?
September.
Oh, this September. Okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to drop in June because there was some pushbacks and paper shortage and things like that. We are now pushed to September, but we already made the announcements. We've already got our variants. Peach Momoko does one of our variants.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's some incredible.
Jerome Opina, I was thinking about him. I love his work. Oh my goodness.
Which
Jerome Opina?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Peach is no slouch either.
Oh yeah. Peach is no slouch either.
Yeah, so Juan Ferreira, I think is how. So he's our main artist.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
How'd you meet him?
So Juan was put on by Nick. So Juan suggested us, or Nick suggested Juan to us. We looked at his art. We're like, man, he's awesome. It would be a great fit. He was coming off a spine-tingling Spider-Man. So, like, one of the things was like, okay, we got to just make sure we differentiate ourselves from spine-tingling. Because, again, ours is, the Demon Bear is in our...
Oh, the Demon Bear.
Yeah, it's Demon Bear and Spider-Man.
All right.
In LA.
Nice.
So, this is a little bit of fun trivia backstory. When we got an opportunity, CB hits us up after our Ghost Rider series, right? And he's like, look, I love what we love what you guys are doing. The Marvel family loves what you guys are doing. We want to give you guys a bigger character. So who would you guys be down to do? And we were like, wow. He's like, yeah, like Spider-Man or Hulk. I remember he's getting that email in the mail, and I'm like, oh man, like
Silver Surfer for me.
dude. I mean, look, Surfer's like I'm an X-Men fanatic.
You're gonna wear that shirt until it falls off.
I mean, so like for me, I was just jonesing to do an X-Men story.
Oh,
So
yes.
I was like, all right, I wouldn't go back to the old school 90s crossover of Spider-Man and the X-Men.
X-Men.
That was my dream.
Now, who's on your team of the X-Men? What's your team comprised of?
So this is, all right, so here was what my original pitch was. I wanted to put a team together with Forge.
Okay, oh, I love
Storm,
Forge. Great. Storm,
Gambit,
great. All right.
Havoc?
What
Gambit.
about Havoc?
I love Havoc, but I was like I only was putting together a small team.
Okay.
And it was going to be very focused on this kind of indigenous sort of storytelling with Forge as kind of like the main
guy.
Forge.
And you know what? He deserves it. He deserves more
I
attention.
wanted to give Forge and Storm, after Chris Claremont's sort of love story, bring them
Back
back
together,
in
yeah.
like a very tense.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was
yeah.
what I wanted to go with,
Yeah.
and then I was going to bring in Miles. And I wanted to do like an interesting thing where Miles and Storm were going to kind of have this sort of mentorship, and it was going to be like a Storm being kind of like a matriarch figure to Miles, and then I had some ideas about playing with the whole Ultimates. And so anyway, I wrote this big long treatment. I sent it in. Like a few months later, it had to kind of do the rounds of like all the X-Men editors and the Spider-Man editors.
They all gotta look at it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And it came back and it was like, man, people love this, but we can't do it because of this and this. And like I got pinged on all the, and I was like, you know what? All good. I'm like, so, and anyway, the remnants of the X-Men part of it became the Demon Bear. And it ultimately was then Peter.
They were like, yeah, I guess you can have the Demon Bear.
Well, they love that. Like, CB is like a big fan of because we were working with playing with Danny Moonstar too on the X-Men side.
Oh, okay.
I know, good stuff. So it was like Danny Moonstar was going to come in, so it was New Mutants. So it was this whole idea. Anyway, the new story, what we have, and I can't say too much about it, other than the fact that like Danny Moonstar's Demon Bear is in it. We've got Peter Parker, and there's going to be a brand new character introduced in issue 1, and she's going to have a really interesting arc and how she
An origin.
Peter, I won't say anymore. But yeah, it's a cool story.
I hope they give you like a straight up X-Men story to do. Right? That'd be fun.
This seems like it's a gateway. You know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, so we're gonna slide him
You know what? It might be a
X-Men-esque
test run. It might be a test run for you.
That's
Never know.
exactly what I'm saying.
Well, We'll see. I mean, the fact that we're getting to write Peter Parker, if I never write another comic again, I'm like, I got to write Spider-Man. I got to write Peter. I got to put my stamp on the canon of Peter Parker, and I got to bring him to California. And I got to bring him for my son, every other kid, that's out here in LA.
I would love for you. I don't know if you had a chance to read Uncanny X-Force from about a decade ago, but that to me was one of my favorite X-Men type runs.
That was Rick Remender.
Yeah,
right?
Rick Remender.
Send me the run you want me to read.
Oh yeah, when we're done, I'll say that. But let me tell you something, my brother. Oh my God, you have a great team put together. Deadpool, Phantom X. That's the first time I got introduced to the Phantom X character.
Okay.
I fell in love with him right away. Psylocke. Psylocke's awesome. Archangel, and Wolverine.
That's dope.
This team is basically like an assassin X-Men
Super
team
assassin
put together
squad.
to take out.
He was like, hard.
Oh yeah.
Hard.
First 4 issues, they're going after Apocalypse, to take him out once and for all.
Yeah.
It's so well done. You're going against his latest version of the 4 Horsemen. They are like some of the baddest group of 4 Horsemen ever.
That's awesome.
They bring the pain.
That's awesome.
Famine brings the pain.
I love that.
War brings it. I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing.
I mean, those are those fun team ups. I've always been a fan of the team up. I've always been a fan of what can we do, and we start bringing different personalities together.
Yes, and one thing they do later on, they go back to the Age of Apocalypse timeline, and a certain person is now in charge of it. So of course Apocalypse is gone from that timeline, but it's so awesome on who takes his spot as he has basically the Apocalypse power. It's a little twist there, I'll tell you later, but it's so cool.
That's
man.
awesome. You're
so
the same
cool.
because I have not read that. I am. Look, I mean, for me, it's I kind of fallen out of comics for a minute. I moved down here to do film.
Oh yeah.
That was my thing.
You're in LA.
In LA, I was living in New York, doing TV and whatever. But comics are always a special place in my heart. And I threw this party called Comic Book Sunday, connecting all my friends in comics, film, and it was just this incredible opportunity and experience for me to build the community, because comics to me was always about community.
Absolutely.
And Julio's here, and I got to say, Julio runs an incredible shop here.
Well, yes, we always give credit and props to We Can Be Heroes. We
no, you're good. Jump in, Julio. Come in for this.
He's too shy. He's too shy.
Julio's over here
Well,
gushing.
look, he's from the Northeast. Of course, he's going to be a good guy.
Jersey, baby.
He's Jersey man.
Monday night, we're going to the show.
Monday night. Oh, Hotel Cafe. Awesome. Oh man, yeah. And my
your lady, your special lady,
girlfriend Ada is an incredible musician.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
She is an incredible musician.
What do you play? What instruments do you play?
I play violin and I sing.
Oh my
guitar
goodness!
and piano.
The
But
violin.
I'm mainly a singer-songwriter. So.
Violin is one of the greatest instruments ever. I
I
love
can do the
violin.
wash pan, but literally that's about
You have to
it.
come check out my music.
Oh.
She's got a residency in Pasadena.
Oh wow. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. I think for me, it's always about the creative spirit of community. I think that's the most
Plus,
important
keep
thing.
your creative juices flowing. That's the best thing too.
Absolutely. And I think for us, it's as writers, as creatives, as storytellers, it's I also play bass. I've been playing bass my entire life. I don't consider myself an incredible.
Are you a blues man?
What's that?
Are you a blues man?
Oh, I love the blues. I play. I'm all about my pentatonics, baby.
There we go.
And I love those little runs in the middle. But I mean, that was actually how we met. Was actually through music.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, music is a universal language, and it brings so many people together. So many people together.
Well, and it's why we put that in our books. That's why we put it in Werewolf by Night. Music was a big part of it. I mean, obviously, my creative partner is Taboo.
I'm sure you listen to music when you're writing these stories, obviously.
Dude.
Yeah.
You have to.
She's
You
like,
have to.
yeah.
You have to.
I listen to a lot of weird, creepy stuff. I go back to sometimes I don't know if you guys are industrial fans. I mean, Godflesh.
Industrial music, oh yeah.
Yeah, Ministry, all that stuff.
Then in 9 Inch Nails.
I love 9 Inch Nails. I mean, man, there's I have a whole playlist I'll listen to depending on what I'm writing. When I was writing the Kashala series with Dr. Doom,
Oh, there you go.
That, Tab would send me his playlist. I would be inspired because that's look, that's how we are creative. Tab and I speak through music, and it's we look at the jazz vibe of it.
It reminds me of
Bouncing
Cowboy
back.
Bebop. I never watched Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Every episode is so beautifully put together with music, and every episode is kind of based on, a song or based on music.
Man, I mean, Shampoo is also like that on the hip hop side, And for us, it's like our creative process always connects to that music, you know, and those playlists. And we're actually working on, because I've also been in tech. Like, I've been in tech on and off my entire career. I started in 1999.
As a programmer?
No, it's video production.
Oh, video production.
Like dealing with like compression and algorithms.
Oh, wow,
and all
okay.
that, codecs.
Okay,
and all
codecs,
that fun
okay,
stuff.
yes.
So this is like, you know, like coming up on that, like 1999, that was the beginning of like how we were streaming web, you know, and now I've been in the whole blockchain space, NFTs, the buzzword, metaverse, but
NFTs.
you know, it's so funny. We had a project back in 2018, and we were going around like with NFTs because we were using them as a gaming component. And I was throwing parties in Santa Monica where I was airdropping people free NFTs to come to my party.
Wow.
I was just calling them party tokens. We were just saying these are our
Nice.
party tokens. Here's an NFT. You would scan our QR code and we would send it to your Toshi wallet. Like, that's how we were doing it. I launched a controlled chaos.
I wish I
mode
met
with
you
my
4
buddy.
years earlier. Good Lord, man.
You know, but we're still, like, I'm running right now. Like, I got an NFT project we dropped in October. I'm building another, like, big one on the Polygon network right now. So we're, you know, in talks every week with Polygon. We're partnered up with them. You know, and the beautiful thing I look at with this is, like, we can build creative communities and connect with our community, and they can be part of our creative team. Like, I have this project called Chihuahuas, right?
Oh.
And they're these stupid little funny dogs. And stupid in the sense of, like, they're ridiculous, right? But the fun thing is that the artist Roll and I work with, we basically have these jams where we talk to our community and they help us create the world. I would love to do that with Marvel. Like, I would love where we could, like, create characters and then have our community, like the fandom.
Okay. Well, what if Marvel wouldn't do it, but DC would?
If DC would do it, I'd go and do it with DC.
there we go.
Or if DC didn't do it, Image said yes.
Image could do it too. Well, you know what's interesting you say about DC? So one of the guys I'm friends with, there's a company called Palm Studios, right? They're the Palm Network, Palm NFT Studios. They just did the DC drop for the NFT cowl, the Batman cowl. So I'm friends with their chief creative officer, this guy Matt, and you know, and I'm like, man, so much, because I'm working with Sideshow right now, so the collectibles, right?
Oh, yes.
So I'm working with them as being a Web3 onboard guy to help bring digital physical together, so that we can find ways to, like, have physical representation with digital characters, digital ownership, and basically create opportunities for exclusivity through that, as well as connectivity. That's what NFTs to me look at, because it's like fandoms, man.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
What, you're hungry? I'm hungry too.
How old's your son?
My son is 11. Going to be 11.
Oh, wow.
All right, he's 11 on Monday.
Well,
Guess
when
what?
you're that age, you know, it's you're gonna be. It's never I am.
Like, enjoy the last days.
He's very excited. He got his favorite Power Rangers to sign his.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
They
it's
were
funny
here
now,
earlier.
I'm
They
not
were
saying
earlier.
I am
They're still
42.
here,
I'm like I
they
was
all
40.
trust
Right.
love.
You know?
I know. I'm going to be 42 in May, so.
Oh, what? May what?
May 8th.
Ah, okay, so you're a Taurus.
Welcome to the club.
You're a
buddy.
Taurus.
How
You're
are you just turned 42?
I was 42 in August. I'll be 43 this year.
Oh, man, okay.
June for me.
But he's always older than me, so I got him on that.
June.
Yep,
you're,
June.
You're a Scorpio?
No, Gemini.
not Scorpio,
Gemini.
Gemini.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus.
The bull.
Bullhorn.
The bullhorns.
He's Aries.
Oh, so you're the ram.
You know, he's.
Or
Yeah.
just a god of war.
All right.
The god of war.
Right? What was it? Right, I'm Mars. But what was it? That's so anyway. But man, I mean, look, I love talking to about this stuff.
Yeah, I feel the passion.
This
I
has
feel
been
the
great.
passion.
Thank
You know.
Thank you very, very much for taking your time out of your busy schedule here at Weekend Be Heroes.
And we'll invite
Studios.
we'll invite you on again to talk. Because this is a great conversation.
Look, I mean, I'll give you guys my info. I also, like I said, I'm all about building community. I got.
And you're based in LA, like you said,
Yeah, I'm
right?
in Toluca Lake.
Okay,
so-
cool.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, North Hollywood here.
Oh
so.
yeah, dude, neighbors. Have to go to Bob's Big Boy. That's our jam.
Yeah.
By the way,
And you?
if you're so if you're a fan of Bob's Big Boy, stuck with me. So I create so Tab and I, being a fan of Bob's Big Boy, like me and my son, it's our spot, right? We're going there for his birthday on Monday. So created Mighty Maxines. So you will always know a Taboo and B. Earl comic because Mighty Maxine always plays a part. So in Spirit Rider, there's a scene where they're at Mighty Maxine's in Burbank, right? So it's the diner where they're hanging out.
Okay, cool.
It's Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah.
So in the Werewolf by Night series, in issue 3, they're at Mighty Maxine's out in Phoenix, Arizona. Out in Arizona. There's always a Mighty Maxine's in every. It's like my Kevin Smith homage to put Mighty Maxine, and in the Kashala Infinity, there's Mighty Maxine, the character in the cartoons, and there's a little stuffy, a plushie on her bed of Mighty Maxine next to Deadpool. So like, I love putting all these little drips like in all of our stuff. Issue number 2 of Spider-Man is going to have Mighty Maxine's, and I'm going to drip in a few friends of mine as...
Nice.
That's super
That's cool.
So anyway, I love doing that, you know.
Well, if you like big boys, you got to check out one of our episodes that we did recently. We did this Battle of the Brand Icons episode, and Big Boy, who did Big Boy take on?
He originally fought Freddie Funko.
He fought Freddie Funko. That's what it was.
Because the first Funko was at Bob's Big Boy.
There you go.
There
you go.
my friend.
And that was where Funko was born. How
That's right.
crazy is
Yep.
that, right?
And they had a good battle.
Yeah, you have the old school versus the the guy that was created because of the old
This is the old school.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why I love. I think Pops, and all that. It's like there's a beautiful story and trajectory there. I mean, because of the origin, and that to me is why. Look, I would love it if we can make a Mighty Maxine Pop, because Mighty Maxine, inspired by Bob, full circle.
Full circle.
Right? Full
I'd be
circle.
happy with the short box pop.
Right?
It even rolls off the tongue.
Which one?
Yeah, short box.
Short box pop.
Short box Pop.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, we'll see, but we got a new project coming out that we're creating ourselves. So keep an eye out. It's called Angry Foot in Blades of the Unseen.
Is this from Marvel?
No, this is me and Taboo and David Vonner.
Self-published?
No, this is an NFT project.
Oh, cool.
That we're building with Sideshow. That is going to be, so it's going to be a Sideshow exclusive. There's going to be a digital character, toy, all this stuff, and we've got we're putting a big team together. We're putting some big stuff, and ultimately it's going to be a fighting AR game where you get to play as all these different characters. It's going to connect into hip hop. The way I'm pitching is Def Jam Vendetta meets Mortal Kombat. So
Nice.
That's
That
what
sounds
we're working
cool.
on right now.
All right.
I like that.
Well, again, Ben, thank you so much for your time. We're going to definitely
thank you.
get together again. This is awesome.
For sure. man.
For all our listeners, if you don't see us at the comic shop or out and about anytime
Because we're
soon,
literally at the comic
right.
shop.
Perhaps another time we'll see you.
At the luscious, sweet, friendly, and not always expensive comic book shop.
Thanks again, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.